5 things about the UK that would shock Americans. Let's go. Number 1, you pump your gas, then you go inside to pay. That shit would never fly back home. I don't care how many cameras there are. Obviously, they've implemented the option to pay at the pump, but different circumstances for different people. That's the original way, and it's not changing. Number 2, you are not allowed to be on your phone at the gas pumps. Here they call it petrol stations. So you're not allowed to be on your phone at the petrol pumps. I learned the hard way. There were no signs. There are no signs. It's an unspoken rule. Number 3, I'm going to say floor levels. So an American first floor is a UK ground floor. An American second floor is a UK first floor. And I'm going to leave you with that. So number 4, I'm going to say stoplights. So y'all know back home you had a red light and then it goes green. Here it goes red, yellow, green. And the reason is the cars here were mainly manual stick shifts. So that yellow light just before the green gave them time to get ready to go. All right, and number 5, I'm going to have to say they finished high school at 16. All right, y'all, that was fun. Until next time. Mwah.
If Americans spent one summer in Germany, some of you would simply not recover emotionally. Because Germans, we are way too comfortable being naked. You walk onto a German beach in the morning and suddenly they're just body parts swinging peacefully in the breeze like decorative wind chimes. And nobody reacts. Nobody gasps. Nobody's covering children's eyes. Meanwhile, Americans are laying there in cargo shorts like, oh my God, Tiffany, look away. Actually, wait. What is that? And the craziest part? Germans are not even trying to be sexy. This is not performance, this is ventilation. And don't even get me started on German parks in the summer. One tiny ray of sunshine hits the grass and suddenly Klaus is out there fully naked, reading a newspaper like a retired forest wizard. And in Germany, free the nipple, already done. Finished, completed in 1987. German women will change their shirts at the lake in 0.4 seconds and continue the conversation like nothing happened. Meanwhile, Americans need a towel, a hoodie, emotional support, and witness protection. And saunas, still completely naked. And Americans always ask, isn't it awkward? No. Because in Germany, the weirdest person is the one acting weird about bodies. Please stop panicking around nipples. So yes, Germans get naked. A lot. Would you survive Germany and get naked too?
Hello and greetings once again, guys, and welcome back to the Real American Reactions. If it is for the first time you are checking me out, kindly subscribe, like and share to my YouTube channel. And to my returning subscribers, I do want to say thank you very much for the love and support you are always giving unto me. But by today, guys, our video focuses on the compilation of various perspectives from American living in our traveling through Europe and highlighting the significant culture shock they experience compared to the life in the United States and whereby. I want you to watch this entire video to the end and I'll be back with more.
Culture shocks of an American traveling Europe for 3 months. The bike lane and the sidewalk are the same, so sometimes I walk in the bike lane and almost get murdered.
They never give ice for the drinks because it dilutes it. They charge for the table water. Drink up. Ashtrays on every table. That one has 2. The ground floor is 0 and the second floor is 1. Unlike in the US where the first floor is 1 and the second floor is 2.
The pedestrian signals differ depending on which side of the street you're on. You can't take the bottle caps off! Ah, they're attached to the bottle! Kebab is the #1 after party food. There are comfortable cobblestone in really old buildings. They have these old ass looking keys and these tiny little elevators that are ancient. And you gotta pay to use the toilet. Euro vibes.
I keep seeing Europeans posting about things that surprise them in America, so I think I need to share a couple things that surprised me when I was in Europe. Starting off strong, there are no top sheets in Europe. Anywhere, at least anywhere that I've been, you guys don't use top sheets. And I don't like it. I don't like it. I always need a top sheet. It's necessary. It feels cleaner, like everywhere. At a hotel, my house, I always need a top sheet. Also, the pickpocketing is huge in Europe. I feel like in the US, if you're gonna try to pickpocket someone, they're literally gonna pull a pew-pew on you or they're gonna beat you up. like right there in broad daylight. The walking culture in Europe is huge. We definitely don't have a lot of that here. I live in St. Pete, so like people do walk more here than probably in other cities, but we don't have any public transportation and everyone drives everywhere here. And in Europe, there are so many people that don't have a car because they just take the metro, the train, the bus, whatever it may be. When I was in London, I learned very quickly that when you order hot chocolate, it is not like hot chocolate in the US. It is literally melted chocolate in a cup, no milk or anything. I felt like everything in Europe was narrow, like the hallways, the walkways, restaurants, even the seating is just super close to other tables, which I'm not used to, and the restaurants are all very small. I think they're just expecting like 100-pound people to walk through the door. Like nobody over 110 pounds can fit through those doorways. If you need your server, I feel like you really have to flag them down in Europe, and they don't just check on you like every 5-10 minutes. Also, electricity over there is so different. You cannot bring a blow dryer or a Dyson or other hair tools like that. You would like literally trip the breaker and there would be no electricity in your entire hotel if you do that. On the same note as electricity, every time I would leave my hotel, the electricity would shut off in my room, including the fridge and the AC. And I had medicine in my fridge, and I was like, oh, no. We've got to keep the electricity flowing to the fridge, please. Water is not free. I had to pay for it everywhere. Like at restaurants, water, it was not free. I just can't believe that. Last one I can think of right now is the water bottle caps in Portugal. When you would buy a plastic water bottle, the cap was actually attached to the water bottle. So figuring out how to drink that was a bit of a learning curve. If you've traveled to Europe before and you're an American, let me know what surprised you most.
Prices in Serbia make no sense. I just rented a car for how many days? 4 days from a little store over there. Not too sure how official the store is. Anyway, this is the car. It's something called a Skoda. We don't have this brand in the United States, but you're not gonna believe. I'm gonna put the price on the screen. Look at this car. Okay, nice car, clean car. Oh, I honked the horn. And you notice something? It is, wow, it doesn't even have the e-brake on. That's kind of crazy. It's a manual transmission. For the Americans, what does manual transmission mean? Look down there. There are 3 pedals. You have the gas, you have the brake, and then you have the clutch. And if that's your first time seeing 3 pedals in a car, I wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, 4 days to rent this car. $56. We're going to do quick math. 15, 30, 45, 60. It's $14 per day to rent this Serbian vehicle. I don't know what brand, I don't know what country Skoda is from. It might be, maybe it's Romanian or it's French. I don't know. $14. The deposit was crazy. The deposit was a lot of money, but it's just a deposit. Anyway, why is it so cheap? Serbians, do you have like super expensive gas or something? Is there something I don't know?
What is the reality of living in Switzerland as an American who's lived here now for 3 months? Let me break it down for you guys. Okay, so the biggest pro about Switzerland is it feels like America. They've taken everything good about Western society and just spit out all the bad crap about being a capitalistic society. Another thing is it has a bunch of third spaces. Everywhere you go in town, there's parks, there's people having picnics, there's people, you know, at cafes, drinking on the side of the road. It's amazing. I mean, another pro is the mountains. I mean, let's just look at this. This is where I've been living for the past 3 months. Another thing is they have public transportation down to a T. I mean, when your train says it's going to arrive at 1:15, it's there at 1:15. No ifs, ands, or buts, and it's at its destination at whatever time it's going to say it is. Switzerland is very punctual. Now, some of the cons I see is Swiss people are very closed off. When they have a tight friend group, they don't want to let you in. I've been able to make it into at least 2 friend groups here, and it's amazing. You just have to be a sociable person, but the Swiss people are very standoffish. They like their way. They like, you know, things being quiet at 10 p.m. They like how they live, and I don't blame them for it. And the only other bad thing is it's hard to move here as a non-EU citizen. It's very hard to find work, things are expensive, but everything balances out. I think the minimum wage is around 3,000 francs a month, which more than covers the cost of living. Now, I unfortunately do have to leave Switzerland because my 90 days is up, but all I know is that I will come back next summer and I will get my work visa and attempt to immigrate to this beautiful country, because I have never fallen in love with a nation, a culture, and a people so much in my life. But for now, I'm going to Phuket, Thailand.
So I moved to London from the United States 9 days ago, and in those 9 days, there's been a new prime minister and a new king. But other than that, I want to talk about some culture shocks and some things that surprised me since we've gotten here. First things first, the driving. You guys drive on the left side of the road. That was really weird. Also, jaywalking is not a thing. People just cross the street wherever. Speaking of walking, there is no order when people walk on the sidewalk. Sometimes they're on the left, sometimes they're on the right. You just have to figure it out. The lack of access to ice is very difficult for someone that likes ice cold water. One thing I love is that tax is included in the price you see. I don't know why we do it the other way in the United States. If something says it's 16 pounds, it's 16 pounds, and I love that. The groceries in general are way cheaper than I was expecting them to be. I don't know if inflation is just really, really bad in the US, but I like the prices here a lot. Don't trust the weather app. You're gonna get whatever happens. Just go outside and be prepared for whatever. As someone that likes rooms really cold, the lack of air conditioning has not been an issue at all. I wasn't here during the heat wave, to be fair, but that's been a lot better than I expected. As someone from a southern state, the bacon and the biscuits, no. Also, things close kind of early at random times, especially on Sundays. I tried to go to Sainsbury at literally 5:04 on a Sunday and it was closed. Today it was 5:31 when I was trying to get coffee and a pastry, and all the coffee shops were closed. Also, why is thickly sliced bread cheaper than thinly sliced bread? Friends is on Netflix. That's all I need. And then finally, again, as someone kind of used to Southern hospitality, extroverted, bubbly, Londoners are way, way nicer than I was expecting them to be. And I love that. I love it here. It's going great.
These are things about life in the UK that I think would send an American into a coma. First one is the sugar tax. I feel like Americans probably don't know about this, but the sugar tax came into effect in like 2018, and basically just a tax on sugary drinks. Also, the effect of this is that like a lot of pubs and restaurants won't sell full sugar sodas. They'll only sell like Diet Coke or like sugar-free Fanta. Sugar tax costs more money to have more sugar in your drinks. Number two is that like Christmas starts honestly in October, but it kind of starts in September. For a place that's really down on America for like turning holidays into capitalistic ventures, the Brits do love to just celebrate Christmas all year round. I mean, like, in the US, obviously, you know, Halloween is huge. Halloween's not very big here. Am I gonna dress up as anything for Halloween? Absolutely no way. Have I dressed up as anything for Halloween since, like, my second year of uni? No. And even then, it was, like, a just last-minute put-together, whatever I could find costume. But, so because Halloween's so big in the US, like, that pushes Christmas away, right? Then we have Thanksgiving, so that pushes Christmas away as well, like, you're not getting ready for Christmas till after Thanksgiving. End of November, start of December. My supermarket in my town in England had their Christmas stuff ready end of September. Mince pies, Christmas pudding, all the decorations, they were in the supermarket on the shelves in September. Number 3, roundabouts. I am from a part of the US, Massachusetts, that's known for having a lot of roundabouts. But in the UK, every single time you get on or off the highway, it's via a roundabout. They don't do the whole 4-way stop thing. They don't have the, oh, who goes first because we're all at a 4-way stop. It's just roundabout everywhere. The doctor's office is called the surgery, but it's not where you go to have surgery done. It's just called the doctor's surgery. I don't know what number we're on, but it's really normal to not have a driver's license here and to not drive. I feel like in the US, everyone drives. You turn 16, get your driver's license here. Nah, some people drive, some people don't. Also, driving test, super difficult compared to the US. It's like 45 minutes. And like, it's genuinely hard, whereas in the US, it's like a 10-minute sort of around the block, so you can parallel park. That's about it. Yeah. I'm an American that lives in the UK, and I wanted to share some of the biggest culture shocks that I've had since living here, because I don't know, you might find them interesting. First one is definitely, this took me by surprise so much the first time it happened. Like, I was like, what is going on? But it's at 11 a.m. every day when the national tea alarm goes off and you have to stop everything you're doing and just relax and have a cup of tea. It's like, it's really, really nice and chill, but like, it's quite a shocking sound that just blares
across the entire country. It's kind of crazy. Number 2 is the fact that you have to eat a certain number of beans on toast per year. If you don't hit that minimum, you actually have to pay a fine. So like every time you have beans on toast for lunch, there's a dedicated government app. They have an NHS app too. It's similar to that. You take a snapshot of it and it sends it to the government. They know that you've eaten it. They know you're good. And if by December 31st you haven't had the number, it changes every year. I can't remember what it is this year, but if you haven't had that many, you have to pay a fine. Number 3 is the fact that when it's nice out, which to be fair is not very often here, but when it is nice out, sort of anything above 20 degrees and sunny, men are just required to take their shirts off and just walk around town, do whatever they're doing, but without their shirts. And when I first heard about this, I was like, that's kind of sexist. Like, you can't just force the men to do that. But unfortunately, it's just the way it is. It's the rules. Are we on number 4? I think we're on number 4. Number 4 is the fact that every room in your house is required to have a picture of the current monarch in it. I don't know if you've seen the new painting that just came out of the king, but that is the one that's going to be required to be in every house, starting, I think, in a few months' time. That's all for now. Let me know if you'd like to hear any more, and follow me on my journey of being an American in the UK.
As an American who's been in Spain for the last 2 weeks, these are my observations that stick out the most to me. The 24 hours that y'all have in a day here in Spain and in Europe as a whole is much different than the 24 hours that we have in the US. Let me explain. In the US, we go to work, we clock out, we go to the gym, maybe, we come home, we watch a little show, and we eat our little dinner, and then we go to sleep. Here in Europe, people clock out of work. That's when their day actually starts. They're meeting up with their friends. They're meeting up with family. They're sitting at tables outside for hours. The sun goes down. They're still out for 5 more hours after that. I feel like you guys live multiple days in one every single day. It doesn't matter what day of the week it is. You guys are outside. Pretty much everybody here smokes cigarettes, and for some reason, it doesn't bother me as much. You want to know why? Because I see a 90-year-old woman chain smoking a cigarette here with more pep in her step than a 60-year-old woman in the US. You want to know why? A couple things. 1, they're active. They're outside. They're getting their steps in. 2, higher quality foods, access to better ingredients. But number 3, which I think is the most important one, community. The community that the people have here is going to keep them healthier and longer than what we have in the US, because the US is built off of isolation, not off community. So chain smoke your little cigarette, Miss Granny, because you're probably still gonna live longer than half the people in the US anyway. 40-minute walk, no problem. 30-minute walk this way in the opposite direction. You know what? Let me walk off this meal I just had. In the US, if I look something up in my maps and it says it's a 20-minute drive in the convenience of my car, I'm like, nope, there's got to be a closer option. Why? I'll tell you why. Because there is so much to see here. There is so much to look at. There are always people outside. It is made for you to walk. There are so many things for you to stumble into or to accidentally find. And it is just such a fun experience to walk. If you were driving it everywhere, you'd miss the entire point. Like, the best part is what you get into when you're randomly walking around. Last observation for now. This one's kind of niche. The girls are not at the gym. Nope. The girls are not at the gym. The girls are walking. The girls are at bar. The girls are at yoga. The girls are at Pilates. They're doing a little 45, 50-minute class. They're getting in, they're getting out, and they're done. The girls are not lifting. You want to know why? Because when I went into the gym, there were 100 men for every one girl. And it was terrifying. It was actually my worst nightmare. It was my worst nightmare. But as a whole, overall, I'm loving Europe. Maybe I should move here. I don't live in the US anymore. I don't live in America, but maybe I should give this more of a long-term go.
Here are a few things that will send an American into a coma. Not literally, but that's the trend. I'm an American who's been living in Europe, and I'm saying Europe to bring an audience in, but I've lived in Belgium, France, Netherlands, and now Poland. Okay, first things first. People are going to touch your kids here. And for me, it's not that big of a deal. I kind of find it endearing at times, and no one has been inappropriate at all. But to an American, that's a no-no. You don't touch someone else's child, and you definitely ask before you do. Another thing that would freak an American out is this staring. I don't think I'll ever get used to the staring. For me, it was the worst in the Netherlands. Like, the way y'all stare is something else. To an American, it's rude. It's almost like, what do you want? Like, why are you staring at me? Are you judging me? But I guess here in Europe, you just really like to observe people and whatever. Another thing is the cost of flights here. If there is someone in my comments who is like a professional at understanding why flights from one state to another cost like over $200, please let me know. But if I want to fly from Warsaw, Poland to Amsterdam, it's literally like 45 bucks. How amazing is that? Another thing that's so funny to me, or like that's hard for me to get used to as an American, is how a lot of times people don't want to drive long distances. And I'm sure people do road trips and stuff like that. But like to an American, driving a casual 5 to 6 hours is so like, okay, yeah, I want to go to a concert. I'm going to drive 6 hours to do it. I was talking to a friend and they were trying to explain to me how they were going to a university that was 3 hours away from where they lived. And that was like so hard for them. I'm like, I went to university 10 hours away. The US is just so huge. And so like long distances driving wise is like so normal for us. Another thing that is so funny to me, but like how the bottle caps just don't come off. I know it's for the environment, but I know this would drive an American insane. Oh, did I just break it?
Welcome back, guys. I hope you have watched this entire video and you have seen to whatever these Americans are experiencing while traveling or even trying to live in Europe. You know, the culture shock that they are experiencing, you know, and compared to the life that they have been living in the United States, it shows enough. And while today we are going to talk about the common cultural differences, and by the one key factor point is the transportation and walkability, and whereby Americans often remark on the extensive public transportation network and the walking culture that makes cities more connected, whereas car ownership is often seen as mandatory in the United States of America. And we have got the social and daily life, whereby Europeans are noted for having a different work-life balance with more emphasis on social, community and leisure time. Yeah, and in it we have got the infrastructure, whereby frequent mentions include a different floor numbering system, the lack of ice in drink, and prevalence of manual transmission vehicle. Onto it again, we have got the specific country observations, whereby one of it is Germany. The culture is notably more comfortable with nudity in public spaces and saunas. We've got the United Kingdom, whereby experience include confusion over petrol station, roundabouts, and even humorous claim about national tea alarms of government mandate bins on toast quarters. We've got Switzerland. It is praised for its efficiency and that spaces, parks, stroke cafes. Through some find the local culture standoffish. And talking about the quality of life reflection, you know, the video it's analyzing why many Americans feels the quality of life in Europe is superior. The factors cited include access to affordable health care. We have lower financial burden for higher education, stricter food safety and ingredient regulations, stronger workplace protection and benefits, generally lower level of gun violence and stricter firearm regulation. So you can imagine how safer these Europe country looks like, or rather the kind of life they're living. It is a very nice life being in Europe. And if you may be asking yourself, or if you have had this question onto yourself, yeah, what are European car rental costs? Yeah, maybe if you someday wanna go visit Europe. And in it, the video provides an anecdotal example of car rental cost in Serbia, where a renter paid $56 for a 4-day rental, averaging out to approximately $14 per day. Nice life, like, you know. And this is the main reasons why the Americans are getting shocked with the culture in Europe. And so why is electricity different in hotels while in Europe? Based on the experience shared in the video, travelers often encounter significant differences with electricity in European hotels. One of it is the power limitation, and some hotels electrical system are not designed for high voltage appliances like blow dryers and hair tools. Using these can easily trip the breaker and cut power to the entire room. Those are just some of the disadvantages, if I might not be wrong. And we have got the key card power switches, whereby many hotels use a card insertion system to activate the electricity in a room. When you leave the room and remove your card, the power shuts off automatically, which can be problematic if you are trying to keep items like medicine cool in a mini fridge, or need a device to continue charging while you are out. Yeah, exactly. That's going to affect in some ways. And how does European social life differ? And based on the observation shared in the video, European social life differs from the American experience in several key ways, primarily centered on a cultural of community and public engagement, whereby the emphasis on that spaces. Unlike many American cities where life centers around the home and private car usage, European cities are designed with abundant third spaces. Parks, cafes, and public square are integral to daily life, where people gather for hours to socialize with friends and family. And we've got the active walking culture. Because cities are often social life happens naturally while moving through the community. People often choose to walk long distances rather than drive, leading to more spontaneous interactions and discoveries. The extended social hours, whereby in places like Spain, the workday often serves as a precursor to the real social day. After clocking out, people spend hours at outdoor tables, with social life continuing well into the night, regardless of the day of the week. The community-oriented lifestyle, they have got the social boundaries and many more. And to our guys, that leads us to the end of the video, and I would love to know whatever you think about this amazing video. Let's come around, share our thoughts throughout the comment section so we can get to interact and know what you think, and mainly because your opinion does matters to us every day. Thank you very much, guys, for following up the video with me. I was your host, The Real American Reactions. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, kindly subscribe, like, and share to my YouTube channel, and to my returning subscribers as well. I say thank you very much for the love and support you are always giving unto me. Always remember to link me up through my next videos. All I wanna say is peace out there.